Guys, would Cole Palmer have made Manchester City even better this year? Was it a mistake to sell Cole Palmer? Well, I mean, listen, was it a mistake to sell him? In my opinion, in hindsight, it was. I mean, not even in hindsight, I said it was a mistake selling him at the time. But was it a major error in selling him? No, I don't think it was. And people's like, what are you saying? You're contradicting yourself. I'm not really. You know, was it the right thing to do selling him? No, I don't think it was. But could you understand why the club sold him? Well, yeah, Pep Guardiola clearly liked Palmer, but he didn't have the same sort of vibe with Palmer that he's had with Phil Foden or even Oscar Bob. I know even Oscar Bob's not played that much this year, but I feel like he's got a better relationship with Oscar Bob. Rico Lewis, another one who's probably got like a better. He just feels like, from a fan's point of view, it feels like Pep, whilst he rated Palmer, didn't quite have him on the same level as the other players. Now, is that a mistake by Pep? Well, again, you've got to look at the situation at Chelsea. He's tearing up trees at Chelsea. That's an absolute fact. No one can disagree with that. However, let's also just, talk about what's going on there. He plays basically in a free role. He wouldn't have done that at Manchester City. 1 minute he's in the middle, drift over to the right. He basically goes wherever he wants, right? He wouldn't have done that at Manchester City. He probably would have played some minutes in the midfield this year, especially with the injury to Kevin De Bruyne. But I think predominantly you would have seen him as a right winger. So then I start to think to myself, we got 40 million for the guy. It's good. It was good money at the time, even though I didn't think we should have sold him. I'm not sitting here really raging about it. I don't think we should have sold him. I'm not going to sit here and dress it up any other way. I think it was a mistake selling him. Was it a major error? No. Why is it not a major error? We got 40 million quid for him. Pep Guardiola clearly wasn't like a mad fan of his. I think he did like him, but not a mad fan. And ultimately, we still got Oscar Bob coming through, who actually looks to me, whilst he might be less exciting in the way that he plays to compared to Cole Palmer, I actually think he's going to be a better fit for the football team than Cole Palmer. He can play left, he can play right, he can play in the pockets as well, which he says that's his preferred position. So, I just think that, listen, when he tears it up, when he scores a hat-trick, he scores 4 goals in one game, you're going to get people, including myself, say, oh, that was a mistake selling him. But I don't think really, people, I've seen some people said Pep's football IQ or some shit. I can't remember exactly what the guy said. I've seen it on a YouTube video. Pep can't identify you. Honestly, guys, I was like, what is this guy waffling? I can't remember who it was now. I just seen it this morning on a YouTube video. I just basically clicked off it as soon as I seen it. Just one of those things. I'm actually just happy he's doing well, to be honest with you. I like seeing our academy players, if they don't make it at City, obviously you want them to make it at City, but if they don't make it at City, I like to see them go and do well. I think it's good, especially if you're a fan of academy football. I like watching academy football. If they don't make it at the football club, it's good to go. Now, some people have said, and this is what I want to speak about, is there a possibility that Manchester City could re-sign Cole Palmer? Well, I mean, if you think about it, if Bernardo Silva leaves this summer, we kind of need a right winger, and he can play right wing. He can play Pep's system because he's worked with Pep Guardiola before. The settling in time would be good. But I just don't see this happening, guys. I don't see it happening. And there again, I come back to the reason that I don't see it happening is because I just don't think Pep rates him like that. And I know that's kind of mad because now he's level on goals with Erling Haaland for the Premier League top goal scorer. It sounds weird saying that, but I just don't think Pep rates him in that bracket. So I don't think we're going to go back in for him. Someone said LB 80 million, Chelsea are doubling the money in a year. Surely they'd accept. Surely City. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think it would work. I think if you brought him in, I think he'd do well. I think he'd be a good replacement for not really Bernardo, but more sort of Mahrez. I think that. And I've been told at the time before he left Manchester City from a very good source that he was told he was going to be the replacement for Riyad Mahrez. And I think what happened is when we got linked basically and the deal was being done with Jeremy Doku, my opinion is he just got spooked and he didn't think he was going to get any minutes at all. Because if you remember as well, chat, when we signed Doku played most of his football at his last club on the right wing. So I think that spooked him. Looking back now, Doku's played most of his football on the left. Actually, Cole Palmer this year would have got quite a lot of football. It wouldn't have been in the free role that he's got at the moment at Chelsea. It would have been on the right wing. But he would have actually got quite a lot of football. Now, that would have stunted the growth a little bit of Oscar Bob. Maybe he would have gone on loan. But listen, it's just one of those things, man. I just feel that, like, some people just make too much out of it. Like, yes, I'm going to sit here and say, I don't think we should have sold him. But I'm not, like, losing my shit over it. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, my God, it was a huge mistake. Like, listen, I'll do the odd tweet on Twitter about it when he scores, says, oh, he scored again, we shouldn't have let. But, like, I'm not saying it was a major error. I'm not saying, like, oh, the board have messed up. You know what I mean? It's not a big mistake. At the end of the day, we got 40 million. Yeah? We got 40 million quid for this guy as well. So I'm not sitting here, we're not sold him on the cheap. In fact, the biggest mistake that you want to talk about mistake? You want to talk about mistake? To tell you about a mistake. James McAtee going to Sheffield United. That was a mistake. Because I tell you this, yeah, I've seen James McAtee play football a lot, and he's a top baller. Yeah, he was rated just as highly as Cole Palmer, if not higher than him, when he was in the academy. He was an absolute baller, and he would have been a big fit for this football club, yeah, and he went back there. Now, that's probably more his mistake, to be honest with you, because from what I understand, he pushed to go back to Sheffield United. If you remember, he was there at Sheffield United last year in the Championship, and I think there was a little bit of sentimentality about his move going back to Sheffield United. I'm under the impression and under the understanding, could be wrong, that City didn't want him to go to Sheffield United. City recognised that that's not really the club you want to go. You want to go to a better club, like a Brighton level. But he pushed for it. And, you look at the way Cole Palmer's career is going already. You look at this, let's be honest. Cole Palmer's in the England squad for the Euros. Yeah, no one's watching this saying Cole Palmer's not in the England squad for Euros. If you are, what you talking? He's top goal scorer in the Premier League with Haaland. How can you not take him to the Euros? So Cole Palmer's going to the Euros. James McAtee is definitely not going to the Euros. And it just makes you think, should City have been stronger on that decision to send James McAtee to Sheffield United and say, no, you're not going Sheffield United. They're not good enough. You're not going to get enough you're not going to get enough on the ball. You're not going to touch the ball enough. You're not going to be able to create. You're not going to be able to develop as much as we need you to. You're not going. And just, because again, if City would have put the foot down and said, well, if you don't want to go there, you're staying with us. He probably would have got some minutes, James McAtee, this year as well in the middle, especially with our injuries. So, if you want to talk about a major error, speak about that. Selling Cole Palmer to Chelsea, some people will say it's a mistake. I do. Some people say it was not a mistake, but it's not a major error. The major error really was getting rid of James McAtee to Sheffield United. The major error was not offering Ilkay Gundogan the contract that he wanted. Yeah? They were the major errors, guys. They were the major errors. But listen, I want to know what you guys are saying on this one. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think it was a major error letting Cole Palmer go? Do you think it was just a mistake? You're not really that arsed? Do you think people are blowing it out of proportion? What do you think of James McAtee? We've not really spoke about him on the channel for a long, long time. Do you think that his career is just stunted a bit? How does he get his career back on track, having been at Sheffield United and not really got the same hype, well, nowhere near the same hype as Cole Palmer? I'm interested to know your thoughts. Guys, smash a like, make sure you subscribe. I'll be live later on. Barcelona PSG on the More LB channel, the second channel. Links in the description, or just type in More LB on YouTube. We'll be live there at around 7:45 UK time. And then tonight, 10 PM, after that Champions League game, providing it doesn't go to extra time and penalties, we'll be live doing a preview of the Real Madrid game. So make sure you drop in that. Guys, smash a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.